Uncle Roger banned from China because of my stand-up show. China, good country, good country. Good country, good country.
Yeah, that'll get you
so
canceled
today, Uncle Roger
in China.
Chinese national dish, Peking Duck. Hopefully it's gonna be so
Good-looking
good.
Peking Duck.
Impress China and they let me back into their country.
Chef Brian Tsao here, not your typical chef, owner of Mission Sandwich Social, located in Williamsburg, Brooklyn, winner of Beef Bobby Flay Season 1, and today I'm coming to you from my home office because I'm avoiding Manhattan rush hour traffic. But in all seriousness, welcome to the Thanksgiving special where I'm gonna react to Uncle Roger learn to make Peking Duck, as this is a topic near and dear to my heart. I once owned a Chinese restaurant myself, completely by accident. Let me know if you want to hear that story in the comments below. This is also going to be my final solo episode, as Frenchy is now the official co-host, but this one I got to do alone because I'm coming for you, Uncle Roger. Before I go on with today's episode, I do want to give a special shout out to my amazing patron, Julia Greeley. Thank you so much for your support. You, along with all the patrons, really do make a difference on this channel. And with that said, on to the reaction.
I actually have a lot of experience with Peking Duck. You guys may recall from a past episode or some past episodes, I talked about how I kind of involuntarily took over a Chinese takeout restaurant. Well, this place had pretty good dine-in food, and one of the attractions was Peking Duck. So I got to see a lot of Peking Duck being made from scratch. Very curious to see how it differs from, you know, how what they do in this video differs from what I watched happen in my kitchen. Again, I kind of involuntarily took over this place. I wanted to open up a Taiwanese beef noodle soup restaurant. We took over a Chinese restaurant. I had the intention of turning it into like this Momofuku style elevated Taiwanese restaurant, noodle house rather, but my partners, my dad, wanted me to have both Chinese takeout and this beef noodle soup, and his intentions were right, but I was also very inexperienced, too many cooks in the kitchen, so it didn't work out. With that said, let's keep watching.
The stove, you use your leg to turn on fire.
Yep. I've mentioned that before in past videos.
Samuel, do you like induction stove? This is better. Cleaning the wok? Wok cannot clean with soap, you have to clean with water. Water, red vinegar, white vinegar. The whole thing?
Vinegar is cheap, no problem. You can cook more.
Why you use cheap vinegar in this expensive restaurant?
This coating no need to use expensive vinegar.
Don't tell everyone, niece and nephew. Shang Palace, they cutting corner.
So, yeah, that's actually a very good point the chef brought up. For this step, you don't need to use expensive vinegar. I would almost say the vinegar at this step is almost more utility-based versus flavor-based. What do I mean by that? So, have you ever had really good quality extra virgin olive oil imported from Italy, or maybe a really high grade aged balsamic vinegar? You don't want to be using that high grade finishing extra virgin olive oil for sauteing vegetables per se. It's just not really necessary. You're kind of killing the essence of what makes it special, right? It has a spice to it, has a lot of aroma. You know, that's something you really want to put at the very end of the dish so that it really stands out by itself, that it becomes much more present. Not to say you can't saute with it or something like that. You absolutely can, but it's kind of a waste. Same thing with what Chef Lee is talking about with this vinegar. You don't need to use the super expensive stuff, because the vinegar at this stage of making Peking Duck, along with what he's putting in now in this still image of maltose, which is a type of sugar. I forgot what type of sugar exactly, but it's a type of sugar. Like glucose is a type of sugar, maltose is a type of sugar. So the maltose and the vinegar is a mixture that you make, boil it, and you pour it on the duck skin. It does a couple things. Number one, the vinegar is going to start to denature the proteins of the skin, right? And also, it's you know, vinegar is an acid, right? So the vinegar is also going to assist in rendering the fat, along with the high temperature of the boiling sugar, you know, vinegar mixture. And then the more fat it renders out, and the denaturing of the proteins in the skin makes it more delicate, thus helping render the fat further. Then the maltose, while it's being scooped on, is the sugar part. You're almost kind of like taking out the fat and replacing it with sugar. And what does sugar do when it gets heated? It turns brown. It caramelizes. I know I gave you a lot of information there, but the point I'm making is, as far as the vinegar in this application, it's more for utility in helping you get the more important part of this particular dish is a crispy skin on your duck.
Maltose is sugar that come from wheat, very common in Chinese cooking, and it tastes delicious.
It is delicious.
Oh,
Nice.
oh, good. This is like better version of honey. It's like honey on crack. We're gonna braise duck with this liquid, make it crispy, and give Peking duck nice red color.
See?
How long
There
you
you
been
go.
chef now, Chef Samuel?
More than 15 years.
15
There you
years?
go. He put in, what is it, your 10,000 hours just to like get competent at something? You know, 15 years. You probably working minimum 12 to 15 hour days, minimum 6 days a week. Oh yeah. Yeah. This guy's put in his time.
Do you start become chef when you were 2? Throw lemon in?
Yes.
Okay, lemon.
Yeah.
I never did that at my place. I think that's more for
Tried to look
fragrance.
cool and I fucked up.
And also lemon is an
Now
acid,
the crispy
so
coating ready.
will help with the crispy coating. Damn, nice spoon. I really love cutlery. Like, is that a golden spoon? Ooh, that looks nice. I love cutlery, man. Not that I have a collection or anything. I won't drop the money for it, but when I go to restaurants, like, I pay attention to the cutlery. I always, like, drool over it if it's sick. Yeah, it don't taste good. It does
Not
not
good?
taste good. It is
This one
for
not
utility.
used to be drink.
Not to be drink. Uncle Roger think gonna taste like Peking duck, but it tastes like vinegar.
Okay, the duck. Yep.
Okay, now we
Nice.
chop the duck.
Caesar,
Yes.
where your Chinese cleaver?
Interesting.
Where?
We
Yeah,
have,
where's your
but this
cleaver?
one more safe.
Uncle Roger don't need to be safe. I like to live dangerously.
So
He must
we,
be friends
take
with
off
Frenchy.
the wings like
Okay.
this.
Okay, you have so many kitchen workers. Why is stuck doing this?
Remove the fat.
But yes, you remove the fat
Yeah.
from the cavity.
Yo,
Yeah, you want to
nice.
get rid of that excess fat.
This duck fatter than my ex-wife. Yo.
Yep, put the hooks under the wings.
So easy.
You will see that the neck is slit, aside from, you know, doing this to actually kill the duck. Later, they're going to inflate the duck to remove the skin from the flesh, and that's actually also where you stick the air tube. I think way back in the day, they would actually physically blow into this. I've seen pictures of them doing it with a, you know, manual bike pump, but at the restaurant that I had and that my father had, I saw them use like a commercial air pump and actually use that to you know, inflate the turkeys, inflate the ducks, and, you know, lift the skin off.
Close enough? Give the duck nice spa holiday. Yo. Is that correct?
Yeah, correct.
Duck starting to cook now, see? It all pink.
Also notice that they didn't dunk the whole thing in there. You also don't want to cook it. If you dunk it into the boiling water, it'll actually cook the flesh, which is not what you want. All you want here is to render the fat from the skin and start to put some of that maltose onto this, you know, into the skin as well. Rendering out fat, denaturing the proteins of the skin, and putting in maltose or sugar.
Uncle Roger, I'm tired. Uncle Roger tired. I too old.
Don't be a pussy.
Are you so strong?
So
Yo. See how pro he is?
Yeah, you
Now
also
the
want to
crispy
do this
coating,
quickly.
Go back in. And now we do it again?
yes, do again.
Peking duck, so much work. Niece and nephew, Uncle Roger regretting this. I think just go to Panda Express, eat orange chicken.
We will keep the duck in the fridge
Yep.
24 hours for the drying.
That's why when you order Peking duck at restaurant, they always ask to give 24-hour notice.
Because we need to keep the skin is drying,
If the skin not dry,
not crispy.
Number one, yes, it is a multi-day process to make Peking duck. So my restaurant that I had way back in the day, we had duck year-round. So you did not need to order it a day in advance. There are many Chinese restaurants that if you call them and ask for Peking duck, Many of them will, if you give them the right notice, prepare one for you. Does not necessarily mean that it'll actually be good. A lot of these places, they may know how to make it, but they don't do it often. And I have a feeling that they may skip one step that I want to see where this goes at the end. So make sure you watch till the end. But while you are waiting to watch to the end, you know how many of you are not subscribed? So you know what you should do is take a second and hit that subscribe button, and while you're at it, hit the notification bell. I almost forgot to touch upon hanging the duck, having it in the fridge. This does a couple things. Number one, yes, you want to let it hang so that it dries. You are hanging it. You are not setting it down on a tray, because whatever's under that tray will, you know, the moisture won't dissipate as evenly. Also, you know, if you put it on a tray or even on a roasting rack that elevates it and allows air to touch the bottom, it'll leave marks. You don't want that on a Peking duck. That's number one. Why do you want to remove as much moisture? Well, same thing with why you want to pat a steak dry. If you really want to get that crust, that Maillard reaction, that caramelization, that browning, that the increase in flavor, the intensity of that browning flavor. The drier your product, the easier it will be to get a Maillard reaction / browning / caramelization, right? Another thing that hanging the duck does, and this works with turkeys and chickens, like when I make my turkeys for Thanksgiving, I don't hang it, I put it on a roasting rack with the spine side down, breast up, but what I'm letting happen to the skin is when it dries, it forms something called a pellicle. And a pellicle is basically when a skin forms on the outside and it gets hard. So like dry aging, right? That outside, that's called a pellicle. It's just the dried part. Now, a 30-day dry age, you don't want to eat that pellicle. But something that's left out 24 hours, that pellicle is fine to eat. And guess what? It gets crispy a lot easier. So you can see how many steps they're doing to try to achieve this mega crispy skin, right? They are giving it a bath in vinegar and sugar to render fat, to denature the protein, to add in sugar to promote the browning. They are letting it dry so you have an easier time to brown, and then finally let it sit for a day to form a pellicle, and you got a combination for an amazingly crispy skin.
The duck gonna get lonely. Chef Samuel, you know when we walk past chef in kitchen, we have to say behind.
Yeah.
But you say here?
睇住，睇住。
Oh, Taiji. Oh, Cantonese.
Yeah, I don't speak.
Nice, nice.
I don't speak
Oh,
Cantonese. I mean, when I worked in the kitchen in a Chinese restaurant, I just said behind in English. But all the other cooks never said when they were behind you. Guess what, everybody? New merch drop. Frenchie, tell the people what do we got here.
This is my favorite picture reinvented for You Wanna Get Fat.
Frenchie and I just launched our podcast, So You Want to Get Fat, available on YouTube as well as audio streaming platforms. But it is about our first official merch drop. Make sure you visit the link in the description below, because pre-orders are now open, and once they close, that is it. So this is a limited time only merch drop. Make sure you get yours today. Visit the link in the description below. Tell them one more time.
Wait a second, that this is it? This finality? I don't like that in my life.
That is it, buddy.
But never, ever?
But you and I get to make more merch drops.
But this is, we're shooting for the sky. This is one of my favorite things about us.
Well, that's what makes it so special.
You wanted a short clip. This ain't gonna be short.
It's not short. Go visit the link in the description below.
Good luck.
God damn it.
Stuck in fridge after 24 hours. It look like this.
Yep.
Feels so nice.
Right, so, you see? You can clearly see that pellicle has formed. You can see the skin is dry, but also when that pellicle forms, it like tightens. Did they miss the step of putting air into the skin, into the duck? And so that's an important step. I mean, this Chef Lee, I know for a fact, knows his shit. So he missed one step that I'm used to, which is you take an air pump and you pump it into the body, and it lifts the skin off of the flesh. And that also helps with, your pellicle forming and having really nice skin and protein separation. Let's see what happens.
Nice and dry and smooth also. Why the duck skin nicer than your skin? You need more skincare, Chef Samuel. Camera, close up, zoom in on his face. Show all the pimple, show all the scarring.
For now, we take out the feather.
How many times we need to do this? There's no machine to do this automatically. Uncle Roger feel like working at beauty salon.
Man, you can see this guy has laser focus, right? He just don't play around. Anyway, so my spot was not a Michelin star restaurant. It was just a beloved neighborhood restaurant that I unfortunately f***ed up, if I'm gonna be honest. Yeah, we didn't, you know, if there was an excessive amount of feathers, then yes, we would pluck some out, but we wouldn't go through excruciating detail. So this is the difference between, you know, something that is casual, a bit more casual, to something that's more fine dining, is they will take these extra steps to make sure it's extra perfect. Interesting, the torch.
Cleaning.
Cleaning.
Oh, burning off any excess.
Don't burn the duck.
Yeah. You saw Chef Lee was kind of going like this, giving a gentle heat, just kind of burning off any last feathers. And you saw that Nigel or Uncle Roger, he held it too firm in one spot, and then it already started to caramelize. That's how easily this skin will caramelize.
Just keep moving.
Yeah, see? That's also going to help dry it further.
No, hi, Uncle Roger f***ed up.
Yes, you
Wait,
did.
Chef Samuel, this is oven. What? This looks like some Elon Musk spaceship thing camera. Look, this is where I hide all the dead body.
It's an oven? I've never seen an oven like that.
long
Oh,
we put in there?
cool.
That'd
Wow.
be nice.
I've heard of ovens like this. I've seen much bigger ones in Beijing when I lived there for a number of years. So this is a much better design than what I was using. The oven I was using was literally just a rectangular box stood up like this. And it worked. We made good Peking duck. I have a feeling that they don't do the last step that my place did. And maybe that's why they don't need to blow the air into the Peking duck to, you know, lift the skin off of the flesh. And I'll get to that in a second. So this cylindrical design allows heat to move much more evenly than a Western style stove is a box, right? Well, same thing with the oven that I had. It was a hanging oven. Everything hung so the air can go on all places, but the box design created hot spots. So you did have to move it around. I think this design, and again, the best Peking duck restaurants in Beijing had huge ovens. Like, I mean, you could fit like, no joke, like 10 people inside. No, maybe not 10, maybe like 5 or 6, but regardless, you get the idea of how big it was. Because of the cylindrical design, again, the air can circulate much more evenly. This is very cool. Wow.
Yo,
Wow,
nice
yes.
look.
Okay, so it's ready to serve. All right, now I understand. Okay, so again, the oven cooked it way more evenly. You can see how evenly cooked this is, right? Now, I don't know if they just purposely didn't show this step, you know, because normally you don't cook it to order, but then this is a high-end restaurant, so, you know, it has a very scheduled steps of service, right? So you kind of know about what time your customer is going to have the duck course, whereas my place, you had to make it to order, so you always had to have ducks ready. So at my place, now number one, my oven did not cook it that evenly. No way. It had hot spots every single time, and even if we rotated it and moved things around, it would get close, but never even like this. I mean, this is perfection. So what did we do to cheat? Again, this wasn't my place to start, but again, many Peking duck restaurants do it like this, is they'll actually throw it into the fryer when it's ordered. So it's ordered, and then it's ready to fire off. You dunk the whole duck into a fryer, and then that gets you the super even caramelized color. They did not need to do that because their oven is just way superior and does that step of the even browning.
Chef Samuel, see?
Ooh, this part's hard too. I got pretty good at it, but
15-minute experience. Look the same. Oh, these are our customers.
Somebody who has no prior experience to carving any type of protein, this is going to be extremely nerve-wracking and difficult.
Good, great.
快啲啦！ Your glove bad quality.
You are so big.
Yeah, you know what they say?
I'm predicting that Chef Samuel is from Hong Kong. He also his accent on his English kind of sounds like it. But just FYI, most people of Chinese descent in Malaysia can speak Cantonese. If I'm not mistaken, like almost all of them do. Like my wife, they all speak Cantonese. They speak a mixture of Cantonese, English, Mandarin, and it's crazy to listen to sometimes.
Say big finger, you know?
Then you cut in the middle.
Awkward. Yep. Cutting down the breastbone. Yep.
Cut the whole way.
No, you just want to rest the
See
blade
all the
on the
lady
bone and
impressed,
just
you know?
drag your
How
knife.
impressed she is?
Totally impressed.
How you say Uncle Roger in French?
Oncle Roger.
Are you guys both French?
Yes.
Okay, French food's so easy. French onion soup.
Really?
I should have had Frenchy here. I did not know they were going to be bringing up French onion soup.
Chinese food better than French food?
Not sure. Not
No?
different.
You think French food better than Chinese food? Why, they customer here? Go back and eat your crepe, ratatouille, coq au vin. Go eat
Coq au
your
vin's
snail,
awesome.
your escargot.
Escargot is awesome.
You don't deserve Peking duck.
1, 2,
Yep.
3, and 4.
Oh no.
Oh no.
So you can see Nigel is very nervous, and he does what I call the rookie cuts. You know, you're doing these very small knife motions. You know, generally with the knife, you want to use the blade of the knife. This is not sharp, so don't worry. No, just kidding. It is not sharp. I'll do it this way just in case. So you want to have these long, straight motions. Why, you ask? What is the why? It's because you will have a more consistent cut. How many times have you gone to a place where they're cutting like this, and then you'll notice all these grooves and ridges? It doesn't look pretty. How come a steakhouse, they have these really beautiful flat pieces of meat for prime rib? It's because they're doing long strokes on the knife, okay?
1, 2, 3, and 4. Where?
4 just follow, yeah.
Follow.
Yeah.
Don't just say follow what? So you just pick the skin out?
Yes.
Oh, nice. Nice, and what?
Then you put on the...
No, Uncle Roger, try it. You have to taste test before you serve? No?
No, because I know it's very good.
Oh, snap.
Hoisin sauce with some garlic, honey. We mix together, make our own secret sauce.
So every Peking duck house has their own house sauce that goes with the duck. That's very common. So my place had a very different sauce to this. But you can actually try that sauce at Michelin Sandwich Social, where I have a sandwich called the Peking turkey. Jordan will put some B-roll on it. No duck, but trust me, it's pretty damn good.
Oh my god. It's okay.
Oh. Yeah, no finesse whatsoever.
I hear some Chinese chefs spend their whole lifetime trying to learn how to carve this.
Yes.
Yeah.
So my carving style was very different from his. Granted, I'm much better than the average, Western trained chef at this, but I would not consider myself a pro by any means. What Chef Samuel is doing is more cutting the skin first, then the meat, from what I'm observing here. Whereas, when I lived in the north of China, the Beijing, Tianjin area, one thing they looked for, at least in my experience, is that every piece of meat carried a piece of skin, generally. Now, it's impossible to do it every single time because, for example, the spine side, there's basically no meat, but that's the rule of thumb.
Wow.
So here is our Shuang Palace Peking duck.
Wow.
And here is Uncle Roger Peking duck.
Wow. Kind of flat, right?
Kind of flat. You kind of flat. That who flat? Hi. This pancake
Okay,
so thin.
mushipi.
Look like foreskin.
Okay, good. That
You
looks
have
like
that in
it's
France?
house-made as well, which is not easy to do, but funny enough, in Beijing, in northern China, almost every family makes their own mushu skins. Mushu skin is that pancake. A lot of times when I go to Chinese restaurants that are owned by people from the South, they normally serve it with the bao bun, but I never saw bao buns once when I lived in northern China for Peking duck. It was always mushu pi.
Looks delicious.
Haven't even eaten it yet.
Oh, look at how thin that skin is. That is art, and it's still flexible. It's not like cracker-like.
It look a bit ugly, but it tastes good.
If I close my eyes,
Great work.
it's perfect.
Good, good.
Now that was mastery at work, Chef Lee, not Uncle Roger. That was pretty horrible. Before we close out this episode, I do want to say thank you to all of my amazing patrons. Guys, thank you so much for your support. And remember, for the rest of you, by becoming a patron, you get to take advantage of some awesome perks like early access to new episodes, uncensored extended versions of certain episodes, and most importantly, patron exclusive content. But with that said, hope you enjoyed this video as much as I did making it. And remember, don't be afraid to fail, because it can only make you stronger. And with that said, I'm Chef Brian Tsao, not your typical chef, and I'll see you really soon. Bye!